Hello, magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Um, try na isa pa magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Magandang hapon!
Okay, thank you. Sanay kasi ako as a teacher, sanay ako na sumasagot yung mga students. So I guess mas comfortable ako in my own environment, which is the classroom. I've been a teacher, so ako si Gerson. I've been a teacher for 5 years now. This is like Dr. Fortune. I chose this photo because I think I look good. I'm a teacher. I taught in high school. I teach in college. I teach in graduate school, and right now, I work with teachers. I teach teachers. I started a organization, non-profit organization. It's called the Habi Education Lab. Diyan yung mga kasama ko. Woo! And we collaborate with teachers. We work with teachers. And I guess this talk will be more about my journey regarding that and everything that I learned about teaching teachers. So I started 2 years ago. 2 years ago, kakatapos ko lang ng master's degree ko and I was in New York. I was working in a very large company. I was working as a designer. And it was a very comfortable life. It's a very comfortable life. And eventually, like any other comfortable job, you start thinking about what you want to do after. You start thinking about whether you are really in your own purpose, quote unquote. And naisip ko, well, no, I wasn't. I was making the rich people smarter. I wasn't reaching the type of people that I wanted to reach. I wasn't being able to help my countrymen and help the Filipinos. And so naisip ko, okay, what if umuwi na lang ako, start my own startup, be like brave, fix all the education problems, be so ambitious. And so I did. I went home, quit my job, went back to the Philippines. I peddled this idea of creativity workshops for teachers. Went from one principal to the next principal. I went from schools, trying to, share to them, ito yung mga natutuhan ko from the US. This is really exciting. This is really something that can help solve your problems, and I will be here to help you along the way. And one of the most transformative conversations that I had was with this specific principal. Kasi the rest of the principals were very supportive. They were, sige, tara, let's work together. Okay, it's exciting. Your ideas sound exciting. So there was this one principal, and he was very negative about it. Sabi niya, anong makukuha mo dito sa ginagawa mo dito? Sabi ko, wala. I'm a kid. This is me. This is me doing my part. I'm passionate about education. I think there are a lot of problems, and I hope to solve every one of them. I think these ideas that I learn are very interesting and they're exciting. Pero sabi niya, no. Sabi niya, personally, I feel sabi niya na-offend siya. Sabi niya, why are you coming here and it seems as if you're teaching me how to do my job. Tapos naisip ko, well, if you're doing your job, then sana maayos yung classroom, sana maayos yung mga bagay-bagay. Diba? Yun yung inisip ko, diba? Siyempre, mayabang ako. So naisip ako, and then I said, I was really, masama yung loob ko at first, but then eventually I realized, I was put in my place. I came in with my Ivy League degree and my New York accent and my foreign ideas to these schools, thinking that I would be able to help them, right? Coming as an outsider. And funny thing is, masama yung loob ko because I had really good intentions. Really, I did. I wanted to help. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. But then, good intentions are really dangerous sometimes too because it clouds your judgment. You don't really know if you're really helping or not, right? Sometimes you're not that critical anymore, even though you feel like you are, right? And so that's how it all, I realized that I was looking at schools and I was looking at teachers at this very different mindset, at a deficit mindset, mga pagkukulang nila. I was focusing on that. I was focusing that they couldn't do it. I was focusing that ito yung mga kulang na supplies, ito yung mga kulang na teachers, ito yung mga kulang na funding, etc. And we'll rally everyone to the community and then we'll make everything better. But no, it doesn't work that way. deficit-based mindsets are actually very dangerous too. And yung mindset na to is very everyday. Siguro kunyari, lahat naman tayo nagpupuntang malls, di ba? Right. So, you go to a mall, ano una mo makikita? Guards. They check your pockets, they check your bags. That's a deficit mindset. Mall owners think all people are bad, right? Or kunyari yung mga no cell phone policies in your classrooms. Because teachers might think they have an assumption that students can't learn because there are distractions and students can't control themselves, right? Or all these things about, let's say, teachers being required to submit X amount of points, X amount of hours, do X amount of whatever to get promoted, right? And that's a deficit mindset. And kahit ako naisip ko bilang teacher, and part of my work also, because I get to go around the country and do workshops, do interviews, do focus group discussions in the regions. I always ask this question to the teachers. Saan kayo magaling? Or sino ditong creative? Ganun. No one raises their hands. Or if they do, medyo parang, minsan, pag required. Ganun. So, pero isn't it strange how these teachers are the ones that are teaching the next generation of students, next generation of citizens. But then, who are the ones who will motivate them to think that they are the experts? Right? Na-realize ko rin as a teacher that I was thinking that way because perhaps a lot of people think that way as well about the profession of teaching. It's usually, there's this two spectrum of stereotypes, if you will, or portrayals. One would be the very highly romanticized, very dramatic, teaching is a vocation, bagong bayani, teaching all students kahit na dadaan pa ng 10 bundok at 100 miles of farms and rural areas na parang walang daan, walang cement, di ba? Pero it's even though hindi maayos yung salaries ng teachers and how we're not well supported. So okay lang na kahit sobrang hirap maging guro, okay lang kasi may good karma sila. They get good karma. Or this other way of thinking about teachers, and kahit ako, guilty ako doon, these teachers that we make fun of, yung teachers na hindi magaling mag-English, yung teacher na may chok sa puwet, diba? Yung teacher na may jabar, teacher na uhulog yung bra, di ba? Right? So, I would like to toss this idea from changing our mindsets. Well, this is what I learned from my work through Habi and through some of the other education projects I'm doing now. Changing the mindset from a deficit-based to an asset-based mindset. Anong meron na sila? Instead of focusing only on the negative things, instead of focusing on the gaps and being that person, trying to be that person to fill in those gaps. What if we looked at them in a different way? So here are some things that I learned. So, una muna, teachers have something to share. Aside from their topics, aside from their content, aside from their subjects, teachers are experts. Sometimes they don't even know it. Right? If you ask a teacher, saan nila natututuhan yung mga ginagamit nila ngayon na tools, ginagamit nila strategies, they would always say, sa kapwa teacher ko. But how come we're not giving enough support to those types of opportunities? Teachers sharing best practices to each other. Why do we keep investing on the experts? Why do we keep investing on mass training and teacher training that usually don't necessarily work? Right? There are a lot of studies that show that. Kami sa Habi, we do something called Teachers Teaching Teachers. It's a different type of workshop wherein we gather teachers together in a school, in a classroom, walang experts. Or, well, to be honest, lahat experts. Walang agenda. We bring them together. We call it an unconference. The first 15 minutes, they vote on topics. Anong kaya mong ituro? Ako kaya ko itong ituro. Ano gusto mong matutuhan? Using post-its. And then, after 15, 20 minutes, we've been doing it for 3, 4 times now. And always, nagkakaroon ng sense yung sessions nila. These are teachers that never met. Right? And they learn best with other teachers because it's in the context of teaching. It's in the context of the problems that they experience every day. And it's interesting to see the progression from the first sessions of teachers teaching teachers wherein they awkwardly start sessions. Sinong teacher? Ikaw ba yung facilitator? Ikaw ba yung learner? Ako ba yung learner? May kinig lang ba ako? Until eventually it becomes a rich conversation between colleagues. It's interesting. It's interesting to see that. It's interesting to see a community starting to build within just 30 minutes. Right? Isa pa, teachers are motivated to make learning happen. Siguro lahat tayo may teacher, nagkaroon ng teacher. Ewan ko, may teachers ba dito? Meron ba? Meron. Wala mo siya. Hello. Hi. So, marami tayong stories about teachers na, wala siyang paki sa akin. Si teacher, hindi siya magaling. Si teacher, hindi motivated na galingan yung pagturo niya. Nagle-lecture lang siya, medyo boring. Handouts lang, ganun. Well, we've experienced that. But, if you listen closer, and I challenge you to get to know your teachers better, to empathize with them, to see what they're really going through. You see that they are passionate about what they do. They are motivated to make learning happen inside the classrooms. Try to study them some more, interview them, be patient, ask them questions, and get to know their context. Get to know what their life is like. Part of my job also, as I'm a consultant in CHED, I do a lot of focus group discussions, and we test K-12 materials now. It's a very contentious topic for teachers. And so when we get them together, we really try to make it a dialogue. Because it's important to get to know these lives, get to know these teachers so that we can inform the leaders, we can inform the policy, we can inform the nuances. Third, I really believe that teachers are active agents of change. The change that we're looking for in our education system. Through my work in CHED also, so I've been interacting a lot with government agencies, and government is stretched too thin, I think, and I think it's the people on the ground, the teachers themselves are in the best unique position to solve the problems too. Not necessarily apologizing for the government's work, but it's also, we have to look at it as a two-way thing, right? It's not just from top down, but also from the bottom up. Teachers have to believe that they're not just passive subjects of research studies, or we're not just empty vessels ready to be filled up by the next buzzword, right? We are agents of change. What we are doing at Habi, some stories, we created a long-term program. We collaborated with teams of teachers inside schools, and then we're working with them on research and innovation projects. We're doing brainstorming, we're doing prototyping. Some of them are solving challenges on absenteeism, school achievement, reading comprehension. Really interesting projects. And this is what I guess my vision of schools and of teachers is schools and teachers that are empowered to change, not just dependent on what's coming from the top, but also they're equipped, they have capacity to do something about their own problems on the ground, right? And I guess I'll share with you yung pinaka-favorite ko na reaction or favorite ko na comment about our meetings and our workshops. We always worry about one big question. This is a teacher. One big question when attending workshops. How do we do this? How do we bring this home to our classroom? So they always think about their context. I was expecting the facilitator to answer this. But I realized, after looking at our produced outputs, that answer didn't come from the workshop. It came from ourselves. That was really powerful. And I think this is the learning that we are looking for. This is the mindset that we're looking for. Is as being asset-based isn't just being about praising people or being just positive. It's about sincerely trusting them that they can actually do things on their own, right? It's not just saying, "Oh, ang galing mo," right? It's that sincere trust they can do it. Um, so I've been talking about education. So I guess, how will this apply to other sectors or other development sectors or other places? Well, the if you have your own advocacy, I'm sure a lot of you have, whether healthcare, I'm sure a lot of health, community development, poverty, women's rights. If you have your own advocacy and you really want to help a community, step back, stop, and think of yourself. Are you really helping? And why are you helping? Instead of just trying to help and trying to fix a problem, go into their communities, listen, empathize, observe whatever they're doing. Really try to be patient and see what's really the context, right? And take note of your privilege. Tayo bilang mga graduates of college, there is a specific privilege attached to your education. So what is that, right? So, and if you do, eventually do start your own organization or start your own movement, don't make the same mistake I did. That I was very mayabang, na parang ang taas ng tingin sa sarili, looking at things from a very deficit-based mindset. Try to empathize, learn from them, look at them as partners, not as beneficiaries. If you like volunteering, take your volunteering further. Use your skills, but also use your ears to listen to these stories. Get to know these people, right? Thank you.